Hey, well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. If you're coming in for the first time, thank you for tuning into my content. And also, if you've been supporting me for the longest time and you've been listening to my content, I thank you and God bless. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to discuss being caught up with the wrong people. Being caught up in the wrong people. I'm going to tell you a story, a real life story, then I'm going to go into why you should not be caught up in the wrong with the wrong people. Man, some people in this world you wish you never met. Some people in this world, I'm going to say it again, some people in this world you wish you never met. Sometimes you can be start off good with them, start off real good with them, like your friends hanging out and they're doing things that you like to do, they're gelling with you, and then all of a sudden now they want you to get into some kind of scheme with them. Some kind of scheme that most likely will get you into trouble, whether it's swindling money out of people's accounts or doing something to get yourself locked up, like grabbing people's social security number or just scamming people online, offer their hard-earned money, all sort of things. You never know who you're gonna meet. You never know who you're gonna, because you're so desperate and you're so and you like this person's company, and so some apparent reason you don't want to lose them. So you tend to gravitate to them, hang out with them. Then when you hang out with them, true story. I'm giving you a scenario, but it's a true story. When you hang out with them, all of a sudden now you find yourself doing things that you didn't see yourself doing, like just to make an extra money. You taking people's account, dabbling into people's account. This guy is an expert in tapping into people's account, and you're joining them and tapping into people's account. What is our social media? And you're saying that they want this package, and you talking to people, and then you get into people, you hacking people's account, and then next thing you know, you're using their name to take money out of their Cash App or something like that, Cash App or PayPal. True stories. I hear the stories like that. So people, you got to be careful who you wind up with, who you break bread with, who you so-called friend. Now they're saying that they're your friend. Now they're saying that your friend, that they're your friend. Be careful of that. Because not everybody that says friend is your friend. Not everybody that say friend is your friend. Perfect example. I'm going to give you a story, a scenario. Man. No, this is more of an acquaintance. It's not a friend of mine. This is more of an acquaintance. They go into he told me that his friend called him up because it was going to make him extra money. So his friend called up, some so-called friend of his called him up, and then next thing you know, he's going into an say that, listen, I got some extra money so we can make, because we can start flipping shoes. He said, flipping shoes? Yeah. Other friend said flipping shoes. So all of a sudden now he's telling me that him and these other 3 guys or 4 guys are walking into this there's a store called there's a department store that sells shoes. It's a department store that sells not David Buster's, old department store that sells shoes. DSW department store. They sell shoes in DSW department store. They walk into the DSW department store. Next thing you know, he noticed that the other people that's with him is carrying bags, backpacks you put on your back, like they're going to school. And this is during the day, early day, like maybe around 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning. Now, may I remind you, this is day off from work. And he just decided to hang out with the guys call him up just to hang out. Sometimes it's good to say no to people. Let me repeat myself again. Sometimes it's good to say no to people. When people are calling you to do something or to hang out or maybe getting you some kind of business venture or some kind of money opportunity, sometimes it's good to say, let me look into this thing before I jump into this thing with you. It's good to do that, people. It's good to do that. I hope whoever's listening can listen to this message. And now hear the story now as I continue the story. Now he goes back into they walk into the DSW. Next thing you know, they're shoving shoes into their backpacks. Just grabbing shoes and shoving it into their backpacks. Now, he told me that there was a black woman in the store. He didn't know that she worked there. She called the police. Next thing you know, those guys didn't know that she called this police. Next thing you know, police walking into the store, handcuff my acquaintance and the rest of the guys, 4 other guys that was with him. Handcuffed, broad daylight. The day where he supposed to be off relaxing, taking it easy, instead of him finding out other ways of making extra money, he got in with some people to make this extra money to flip some shoes, to get shoes to sell. Next thing you know, he's being handcuffed. Those guys was boosting. They didn't tell him when he hopped into the car with them. They didn't tell him what he's gonna do. They did not warn him and tell him what he's gonna do. All he did was ask them, well, why we in the DSW? Before you jump in with some people that they claim to be cool with you, always ask questions. Always find out what they're gonna do. Always find out the details. If you don't ask details, and maybe I'm speaking to a young person, if you don't ask details what they're gonna do, and you hopping in a car with them, that could be your own demise. That could be troubles that you can't even get out of. And if you hang out with them, that's why I always warn my son. I said, if you see young kids if you see other boys like yourself doing bad things and you're hanging around them, they're gonna think you're doing the same thing that they're doing too. And sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you could get caught up into things that you find yourself not doing. Like my friend, you find yourself that you didn't think you was gonna do, but because you're in their midst, you look bad too. Not only they look bad, but you look bad too because they're hanging with you. They're with you. They're in your company. So you look bad too. Listen, I was in years ago in high school. I remember sitting with a bunch of guys, and they decided to throw corn in the cafeteria. But I'm sitting with them. Guess what? We all got rounded up and been sent to the principal's office. Not just the person that was throwing the corn, but we all did. Because we all got accused of throwing corn. Ladies and gentlemen, or young people whoever I'm speaking to, I hope you hear this message. Always ask questions. Sometimes you meet people and you don't know what they're about. The devil could be calling you to your death. Sometimes you hang with people, you new people that you just meet. They're pushing to be your friend. You don't know why, but they just always seem to call you to find out what you're doing. Always wanted to get into your world. But be careful of that, because the devil has many ways of entering into your world. Maybe it could be through social media, on Facebook. Somebody contact you now and they want to get together with you. Or maybe it could be somebody that you met, maybe off work, or maybe in your school, or maybe that you just met somewhere and they just want to get into your world. And you've been living peacefully before you met them. You've been living peacefully before you met them. But sometimes People, you got to be mindful too, because people contaminate your mind. What I mean by contaminate your mind, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you are desperate and a person could be telling you that there's ways of making extra income. This right now we're living in inflation time and people are getting desperate. And they could be feeding you of ways that you could be making extra money. And I mean not the illegal way. And you get enticed. And you know how you get enticed? Because it looks good to you. You need the money. Yeah, but instead of you trusting God and trusting the Father that provides your needs, instead of you trusting God, the Bible says that I've been young and been old, but I never seen David said, I've been young, I've been old, but I never seen the righteous beg it for bread. But instead of you trusting in God and believing God, you trust this person. And yeah, you trust him or her, and then now you get you into this. You find yourself doing what they're doing, whether it's boosting, whether it's hacking social media platforms to get into people's Cash App account or their Zelle account or whatever apps they have that you can distribute money to somebody that needs it. There's people that are scammers, and you find yourself scamming with them too. And you're doing it, and you see it, and maybe you might see 1 or 2 results. Next thing you know, the authorities are coming your way. Whether your social media platform is getting shut down, or the worst, authorities can be coming at your door. Well, the live word of the day is coming out of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 33. Be not deceived. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners. Well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless. Be safe. And if you like this content, you like what I shared, hit the like button on YouTube. Also hit the subscribe button. And also, if you're on Facebook, give me that view or hit that like button. Thank you so much. God bless and be safe out there. This is Zacchaeus. Blessings.